Welcome to the Habit Dropout Support Group. Have a seat. Okay, well, if you won't, I will. If you are someone who gets really into a new habit for like 3 days and then never does it again, hi. Same. And I've always kind of thought it was because I was lazy or just undisciplined, but I think the biggest problem actually was that my habits were wildly inconvenient. So that was the problem I was trying to solve for when I made these small changes in my life. And when I say small, I mean small, okay? I just adopted a little new rule into my life that's made me drastically more consistent. I just bought a little device that has drastically improved my focus. I said drastically too much, didn't I? Sorry, I'll buy a thesaurus. Point is, these are tiny changes that have made it so I actually follow through on my habits most of the time. So the overall theme that I want you to keep in mind for this video is that we want to make our good habits more convenient and we want to make our bad habits less convenient. For instance, I have made it harder for me to procrastinate on social media rather than just simply doing my work. I have made it easier for myself to wash my face at night so that I don't stand in front of the mirror picking at it. And I've made it harder for myself to sleep in late rather than just getting up and starting my day. So we are going to dive into all of those examples and more. And if you would like to body double and get some chores done, feel free to do so because this is a Chat and Chores episode. I desperately need to clean off this table. I've kind of been avoiding cleaning until David moves because it's just like I'm gonna reorganize everything again once his stuff is gone. Also, if you didn't already know, yeah, David's moving. We're not breaking up. He just got a new job and so he's moving a couple hours away. If you want to catch up, you can check out the first 2 episodes of my series, The Year I Didn't Plan For. I'll link it somewhere. Probably in the description because that's the place to link things. Anyways, David got these nice tulips the other day and they look very lovely on the table, but it's tainted because of all this stuff and I just want to look at the table and I want to enjoy the tulips. So we have to move all this stuff. Anyways, what has helped me break my habit of pressing the snooze button all the time and waking up late has been moving my alarm away from the bed. I know that's not novel. I know it's been said before, but my gosh, does it work. Most of this is craft supplies, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm probably just gonna move it to my office and leave it messy in there, so don't be fooled. I'm cleaning, but I'm not really cleaning, at least in this instance. Paints in the pot. Ooh, what else can we put in the pot? The clay in the pot. Okay, that's a good first trip. Essentially, I made it less convenient for myself to snooze than it was for me to get up. So now my good habit just became more convenient. Could I get up, turn off the alarm, and crawl back into bed? Sure. Has it happened occasionally? Yes. But I genuinely have seen a drastic improvement. Like instead of snoozing 4 times a week and waking up on time once, I wake up on time 4 times a week and I snooze once. Progress. See, isn't this much more pleasant to look at now? I'm really far away from you. We'll sit here to do this. And you're too high up. What are we doing? Is that better? So this is less of a chore and more of just a fun thing to do because I'm opening a package. And if it is what I think it is, I'm gonna be real happy. All right, so the next small change, getting an accountability buddy. Oh my God, this is dangerous. I'm gonna cut off a finger. Why is this packaged like this? My accountability buddy right now is my trainer, Jill, who I work with through the Trainwell app. I never have to see Jill in person. She's lovely, don't get me wrong. She's very nice. She has an incredibly cute dog. I'm sure she'd be fun to hang out with in person. But as someone with social anxiety, woo, one flap done. As someone with social anxiety, I hate having somebody watch me work out. So even though something like a personal trainer or even a fitness class would probably make consistent exercise easier for me because it's all planned, the social aspect of it all would make it harder. So Trainwell has really been the best of both worlds. They pair you with a real trainer based on your goals and your lifestyle, and then you have one onboarding call with them, just one. It's not scary, it's very chill. And you talk through things like what your schedule realistically looks like, what equipment you have access to, what your goals are, what current types of exercises you're doing, and then your trainer builds a plan that actually fits your life. So when I spoke with Jill, I should put that over there for a minute. When I spoke with Jill, I told her my goals were to improve my glute strength improve my cardiovascular health, and to basically do exercises that would allow me to maintain my mobility in the long term. I.e., when I'm old, I want to be able to hike and like jump on a trampoline if the opportunity presents itself. And I told her realistically, I would like to work out 3 times a week. And then I told her what equipment I have access to in my building's gym, and also what I have in my apartment for days when I'm feeling more anxious and I don't want to leave. And she built my workouts around that. So now I can just open the app, follow along, and not have to think about what I'm doing, which for me is half the battle. And my favorite part is that it is super flexible. If there's ever an exercise that I don't want to do or I don't have the equipment for, I can swap it out right in the app, and it gives me alternatives that target the same muscle group. So it doesn't turn into this all or nothing thing where I skip the workout entirely just because I don't like one exercise. Which, speaking of skipping a workout, if I miss one, Jill will message me. And knowing that she's gonna hold me accountable does motivate me to complete my workouts because I don't like to let people down. And if you're like, Morgan, I genuinely do not believe that you love Train Well this much because I know you don't like exercising. Take a gander at this. It has been a very hectic month, and normally I would have put exercise on the back burner, but look, I've only missed 2 workouts. I've consistently done 3 workouts per week, basically, for an entire month, except for this week. Ignore that week. So I really have been keeping up with it, and that is genuinely thanks to Train Well. So if you're someone who wants the structure of a personal trainer without the pressure of being perceived whilst working out, I really can't recommend this enough. You can get 14 days free with your own personal trainer if you sign up using the link in my description. Yes, is what I thought it was. I got an essential oil diffuser. I was influenced by the mattress store, okay? When David and I went to buy a mattress, we were laying on the mattresses in the store, you know, as you do. And right next to the mattress that we were laying on was a diffuser that was puffing out nice scents every few seconds. It really created an experience, so much so that I got home and I was like, damn, I gotta buy an essential oil diffuser. So here we are. Good job, Satva. You got me not only to buy your mattress, but to also buy a new way to emit scents into my home. Oh my God, is this child-proof? Or is this just weak-armed girl-proof? Jill and I haven't worked much on my arms yet. Okay, well, the next tip, I'm just gonna surgically remove this. The next tip is to assess the location of where you're doing your habits, because in some instances, it might not be the most effective place. Ta-da! For example, when I shower in the evening, I dread getting out of the shower because I dread washing my face, because usually while I wash my face, I pick at my face to avoid washing my face, and then my face gets very red and very blotchy. I've said the word face quite a few times now. But then I had a thought. I was like, why don't I just wash my face in the shower? Because I don't actually need a mirror to wash my face. And then that way, it's easier for me to avoid my bad habit. Sorry, Tulip. It's easier for me to avoid my bad habit of picking at my face. And it also makes the habit of washing my face more enjoyable because I get to do it in the shower where the warm water is still hitting my body instead of standing outside the shower shivering because my little towel that doesn't stay up properly won't keep me warm. Oh, she's cute. Now, where are the oils? I ordered oils. Oh, those oils better be somewhere. Let's talk about the concept of a backup habit and why it's a beautiful thing. The easiest way to explain is with an example. Let's say your goal is to work out 3 times a week for 45 minutes. Amazing. Have those full workouts ready to go, but also have a shorter, easier version, one might say a backup version, for the days when motivation or time is lacking. That way you're not losing momentum, you're just adjusting the intensity to fit your day. Same idea with something like writing a book. If your goal is to write for 2 hours 3 times a week, there are going to be days where that just feels impossible. So on those days, your backup habit could be journaling for 30 minutes. No pressure, just stream of consciousness. It's not all or nothing, it's just what version of this can I do today? Okay, I know while you were watching me open that box that you were probably thinking, damn, Morgan's kitchen is really cluttered behind her. She should really tidy that up. Well, good news. I'm gonna tidy it up. Honestly, the kitchen is always cluttered. The only time it's not cluttered is like after I'm done cleaning it for you. Then it somehow becomes cluttered again. This next tip is to write down instructions where you use them. I feel like this is only applicable in very specific scenarios, but in those specific scenarios, it really does help. For example, I struggle to keep my bathroom clean, partly because I'm a messy person, but also partly because when I go to make the cleaning paste that I use to clean my bathroom, I can never remember the recipe and I don't want to look it up. So instead of finding it, I just don't clean the bathroom. And I solved that issue by writing the recipe down and sticking it in my cleaning cabinet. So now every single time that I need to clean my bathroom, the recipe is easily right there. I can mix up the paste real quick and then I can complete my task. I did a similar thing with my loose leaf tea because I wanted to get into the habit of having some tea before I went to bed to calm me down and whatnot. But the issue was I could never remember how many teaspoons or tablespoons I was supposed to use of the tea. And so I would just be like, well, I don't feel like figuring that out, so I'm just not gonna drink the tea. And so to solve that problem, I got out my trusty label maker and I made some labels for all my teas. And so now when I go to make a cup, it's significantly easier for me to follow through with the habit because I've made it more convenient for myself. Now this tip you may have heard before, but it has been a game changer for me, so I couldn't not include it. And it is to batch tasks to make things easier for future you. I have applied this to my eating habits because I'm not good at remembering to eat lunch. I get too enthralled in what I'm doing and I don't want to shift gears to make myself a meal and then I end up working until I'm hangry. So I've been making giant batches of meals on the weekends and then I will freeze them and then all I have to do is reheat the item when it's lunchtime, which has made this habit much easier for me to follow through with. The other week I made 15 frozen black bean burgers, which is probably 4 to 5 weeks of lunches for me because I have 2 really simple lunches I can make in between a quesadilla or an egg sandwich. That way I don't end up eating the same thing every day and it makes my frozen meals last longer. Also, it's just great to be getting more nutrients now because I'm not just making a quesadilla for the 5th day in a row. So I'll link some of my favorite recipes for freezing in the description if you want to try some out too. So I mentioned earlier a device that has really helped me focus better, and that device is a brick. This is not an ad for them, I just genuinely love it. If you don't know what a brick is, it's this little square thing. I'm gonna put it here. You can put it anywhere in your home. Ours is on our fridge. And then you set up times on your phone for your brick to block whatever apps you choose. So for me, that's all my social media apps. So a brick makes the bad habit of scrolling on my phone any second that I get harder to do because I have to get up and go unbrick my phone in order to do that. It then makes the habit of me staying seated and focusing on my work a lot easier because I cannot get distracted by this thing. If you're unfamiliar with the concept, let me demonstrate. If I'm bricked right now, all the apps that I choose to have blocked are blocked. So that would be all my social media apps. I cannot open them unless I get up and I come over here to this device and I open the brick app and then I put my phone against the brick and then it unbricks, which means that the apps I had blocked are now open and I'm free to use them again. I do realize it's ironic that I bought a device to keep me off the other device that I also bought. But this is the world we live in. So I think it's good for anybody, but especially as somebody who works in social media, I can set a schedule of when I want to be bricked. So every day from 8 a.m. to noon, I'm bricked. So at noon it unbricks and then I can open up my social media. If I have to post anything that day, I can go ahead and do that. It then re-bricks at 7 p.m. so that I can't just sit and scroll on my phone instead of, I don't know, painting or playing cards or reading or just, doing something other than destroying another brain cell with that thing. Anyways, I think it really helps because I have noticed that when I'm waiting for a page to load on my computer, I do not automatically reach for my phone like I used to, and then reaching for my phone would lead to like at least 5 minutes of scrolling and the page has already been open now for 4 minutes, so I've wasted 4 minutes and that adds up really quick when you do that like 10 times a day. Do you guys do that too? Tell me you've done that too. Or is it really just a me problem? buddy? You ready to go out, sir? You want your dinner? Last tip is don't overcomplicate your habits. Last year, I wanted to make a habit of planning my days out instead of just sitting down and kind of diving into the first thing I'm most excited about and then accidentally working on that the entire day and not getting anything else done. And I made this Notion planner for myself that just had way too much going on in it. I would have to go in every day and type in my tasks I wanted to do, add the time slot, move it around, and it looked really pretty, but I stuck with it for about 2 weeks, and then I was like, this is too much to do. Hold on one second while I change into a sweatshirt. So I ended up just making a to-do list template, basically, that just had a checkbox, a place to put the time block that I want to do the task in, and then the name of the task, and that's it. And I've consistently filled that out every morning for, I don't know, like 6 months. I'll link the template in the description. It's completely free. It's just on Canva if you want to try it, if you want to use it. But yeah, most of the time the basics are fine. You don't have to get all fancy for something to be effective. Okay, buddy, let's go out. Mwah. Thank you for watching today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found some of these tips helpful, at least one. If you did, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up so that the YouTube minions will like me and show it to other people. And make sure to subscribe so that you never, ever, ever miss a video of mine. And if for some reason you would like to see more of my face, you can find me on Patreon, TikTok, and Instagram as well. And don't forget to check out Trainwell. You can get 14 days free with a personal trainer through the link in my description. And please wish Goose and I luck as we venture out into the cold, because yes, it is still cold, even though it is now April. Isn't that just a cruel, sick joke, buddy?